Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. With no official representatives in Scotland, Reform don't really have a Scottish leader. There's not really a Scottish Reform branch. And so, come the May 2026 Holyrood elections, it will indeed be Nigel Farage who is going to go head-to-head with John Swinney in the lead-up to that election. And I, for one, look forward to it very, very much. I don't think Swinney is capable of handling Farage. I think Farage will tear him a new one because, after all, Farage only has to bring up reality, history, the truth, and that will be enough to absolutely eviscerate John Swinney and the SNP. The truth is devastating for them. Now, John Curtis, Professor John, Sir John, he has suggested that the current polling would give Reform about 13% of the vote in the list, in the list votes. This would be enough to give them at least 9 members on the list vote. And he says with the momentum that Reform have got, they're also likely to win actual constituency seats as well. He says it's hard to tell because everything is in a flux, but current polling would suggest maybe 6 or 7 constituency votes and 9 list votes. 15 seats. That would put them on a par with the Tories in Scotland, which is not bad considering where they're coming from. Now, they're unlikely, of course, to make many more inroads because of simply the madness of some Scots who insist that the SNP are still doing a great job despite the evidence of their own eyes. But it would still give them a massive inroad. And of course, every seat they take denies a seat. Especially constituency seats they take denies a seat to the other parties. It will weaken them further as well, denying the Uni Party. And in Scotland, I do count the SNP as part of the Uni Party as well. They're all in it together, even though they pretend to loathe each other. But the best about this is, of course, it means that once you do have a party of Reform in Scotland, they have to make a choice. And this is where it gets very interesting. Do they have a separate Reform Scotland? In the way that, say, the Labour have Scottish Labour, Scottish Tories, and so forth, or do they keep it monolithic and have just Reform representing Scottish people on a national basis rather than on a regional basis? It's a thing that'll have to happen. If they do keep it national, then obviously Farage will continue to be the leader there, but they could still have a leader of the Scottish, the Scottish Parliament, leader there in the Scottish Parliament for them. So they could elect their own, Holyrood leader, as it were. And that would be fine as well. I think the structure will have to change. But that's for the future. We don't know, all up in the air. You don't know what the result will be. But it's just fascinating that it's going to be Farage and Swinney. And I think Farage can think on his feet. I don't think Swinney can. Swinney is much more circumspect. He is a thinker. He's someone who won't just rush to an answer. He sits, he does listen, he contemplates and he answers. But that's not what people want in a debate. They want an immediate response to a question. Mr. Swinney, is it true that blah, blah, blah? How can I answer this without making it look as though I'm guilty? That's not what people want. They want a yes or a no or something like that. But Swinney's quite incapable of doing that because he dared tell the truth. And that, of course, it will be why Nigel will be snapping at his heels all night. I can't wait to see it. Pay money to go and see it. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much. Goodbye.